Thank you for joining me. My name is Nick Kirkpatrick. My website is blackop.org. I wanted to take a few moments to talk to you about Bitcoin and why I advocate that more individuals acquire Bitcoin. My interest in Bitcoin relies primarily in what it can do. There are some people that have gotten into Bitcoin in the interest of of making money, with the purpose of acquiring Bitcoin and then hoping that its value will go up, and and just having more value that way, or by going and just selling it for U.S. dollars or some other currency. And and certainly its value has gone up a lot, but and it'll probably go up even more. I anticipate that the value will go up just because more and more people are getting interested, more people are trying to acquire them through Bitcoin exchanges. So its value will go up. But my primary interest in Bitcoin is in what it can do. And what it can do is it can facilitate the creation of a counter economy. Since the beginning of time, people have been engaging in counter-economic activities, and really Bitcoin is kind of a catalyst. It's kind of a, I hate that word. What Bitcoin does is it is just accelerating what's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. It is accelerating the counter economy. It is helping people engage in economic activity that exists in parallel. A counter economy is an economy that exists in parallel to the economy that is endorsed by the ruling class. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about putting power in the hands of the individual. But by promoting Bitcoin and by getting more Bitcoin into the hands of more people, we, the human race, can peacefully subvert the state's control over the people, with regards to buying goods and services, selling goods and services the state doesn't want you to buy, and doing transactions of any kind without the now unnecessary crony capitalist financial gatekeepers taking a cut. Is when Bitcoin is being used, there is no one who can shut down your account. There are no big financial institutions that bow down before the state and have the blessing of the state. There is no mega corporation. And there's no one. There are no 1%ers that are the gatekeepers over your money. If if someone wants to shut down your Bitcoin account, well, there is no centralized Bitcoin storage unit, so there's no way. There's no central controller who can go in and say, oh, let's freeze this person's account. That just doesn't happen. There are no financial middlemen. No one owns Bitcoin. There is no one source where Bitcoins originate from. There is no leader. Bitcoin puts the power of financial transactions in the hands of the buyers and the sellers, where it belongs. This is about empowering individuals. You can engage in transactions of any sort, and you don't have to worry about the man taking advantage of you. And of course, when you do transactions with Bitcoins, you don't have to worry about the individuals who call themselves the state taking a portion of your money without your permission. Bitcoin transactions are potentially anonymous. If you use them in the proper way, your Bitcoin transactions are anonymous. Nobody needs to know who you are. If you can go to certain retailers online and you can purchase things, and they might take like a shipping address from you, but if you're going to the right person, to the right store, they'll take your shipping address, but you don't have to give them your real name. So Bitcoin transactions are potentially anonymous if you do it right. No one needs to know who you are, and and this has a lot of a lot of implications. And Bitcoin might be used for things that you don't like for purchasing illicit substances, and so it does have things to it like that. But the anonymity, this is more good than bad. What this does is this puts the power of financial transactions into your hands. There's no one in control, and you can. This is purely hypothetical. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever done it yet, but some point in the future, there are going to be people with jobs, with full-time jobs, with wages that are given out purely in Bitcoin. I know some people have tried this with gold, silver, precious metals, and the government has tried to shut down. And hold on, while we're talking about precious metals, this is one of the things that differentiates Bitcoin from precious metals, is that precious metals have to be stored somewhere. The government can just go in and raid your warehouse, as was done with the Liberty Dollar. I mean, as great an idea as that was, Bitcoin has a huge advantage over previous forms of currency in that they're infinitely fungible, just as gold is. But you can store your Bitcoin anywhere, and they're not physical objects. So, if the government wants to break into your Bitcoin warehouse and raid you and take all your stuff, well, they can't, because there is no warehouse. There's no central controller who has all the Bitcoins. The Bitcoin transactions are not moderated by some guy on a throne somewhere. It's really a peer-to-peer thing. And as I was saying, so I mean, there are at some point in the future, if it hasn't happened already, there are going to be people who accept wages purely in Bitcoin. And since there's no apparatus in place for the state to track this, you can potentially have a salary that is completely tax-free. So you get to limit the harmful effect that the taxation has on your life. I think that the fewer money that the government is taking out of your hands, the fewer resources they have to go drop bombs on brown people on the other side of the world who have never attacked the United States, the fewer resources they have to engage in activities that are harmful to your life and the lives of the people of this world. If you want to leave the country, for example, you don't have to pay immigration tax. People are always saying that if you don't like this country, if you don't like the laws, why don't you leave? Well, they never tell you that you actually don't have the freedom to leave. If you try to leave the United States carrying a certain amount of money, well, they're gonna take it from you, and it's called immigration tax. If you don't believe me, go ahead, look it up. But with Bitcoin, well, since Bitcoin is not, it can be stored anywhere. It's not centrally controlled. You can just store your Bitcoin anywhere you want to, leave the country, and start using your Bitcoin as soon as you move. Bitcoin is a stateless currency. It is cultureless. It is ageless. It is raceless. It is ageless. It is stateless. It is nationless. It is not tied to any specific people or any specific culture. I mean, even the name, it's called Bitcoin. I mean, that's a pretty bland name if you ask me. So this is not a currency that is tied to any specific interest or any specific government or anything really specific. This is a currency for everybody, and this puts the power in the hands of the individual. Is Bitcoin the be-all, end-all? No, and I don't advocate that people just buy up a bunch of Bitcoins and own that exclusively. I think having just one currency is a really bad thing. So Bitcoin is good, but maybe somewhere in the future someone will create something better. I think that a mix of currencies is going to be what's best for the world. But what Bitcoin does is Bitcoin is kind of a trailblazer. Bitcoin lays the path for other things to be made. Now that we have a working model, people are engaging in commerce. People are giving out Bitcoins as donations to nonprofits. People are paying for labor in Bitcoins. People are in fact there are even I don't know if they've instituted yes there are mutual funds in Bitcoins. People are doing so many different things with Bitcoins. I am a Bitcoin enthusiast, and I read about Bitcoin almost every day, and not even I know all the things that are being done with Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin turns out to be a flop, which I highly doubt, like I said before, I think the value is going to go up. I think more and more people are going to be interested in it and exchange their old U.S. dollars for Bitcoins. Even if Bitcoin turns out to be a failure, we now have an example to look at of the world's first decentralized currency that is not based on any kind of physical asset. It doesn't have to be stored anywhere. It doesn't have to be tied to anything or any person or any organization. You are not subordinate to any organization when you buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now a model. So the moment that somebody tries to build something better, they now have something to look at. So Bitcoin is going to move the world forward, and I have I have Bitcoin, and I advocate that other people acquire Bitcoin. Counter economics has been going on for hundreds of years, and I think that we're finally at that point where we've got this technology that makes it a lot easier to bring an ethical and an economically efficient world, and to put the power in the hands of the people. And so I hope that you will all join me in acquiring Bitcoin. Thanks for watching. You can find my website. It is blackop.org.